Welcome to Choosing Adoption. I'm Donna Pope, and this podcast supports expectant parents considering adoption and birth parents after placement. Through real stories and guidance shared with clarity, faith, and compassion, we will connect you with others who offer their insights and experiences that will empower you and provide you support. All right, Alexandra and Michael,
Yes.
Welcome to Choosing Adoption. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm just anxious to hear your story. Why don't you, Alexandra, and you pop in whenever you want to. Tell us your whole adoption story.
Yes, I'm initially from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not necessarily, but I lived in Florida, and I got pregnant with a baby boy, beautiful baby boy. His name is Owen. And that time I didn't know what I wanted to do because I didn't know if I wanted to parent. I had other options. I just didn't know what route I wanted to go yet. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, in the middle of pregnancy, I ended up homeless. I was living in the woods. It wasn't a suitable environment. Mm. So I started exploring my options because I wasn't...
Were you guys together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I started exploring my options to try and figure out, okay, if I'm still going to be homeless by the time I give birth to a baby boy, what am I going to do at that time? You know?
What year was this?
This was in 2022. It was May of 2022. Mm-hmm. And so I started exploring my options and I was like, you know what? Let me go through an adoption. Mm-hmm. Let me start looking at adoption agencies around Florida area, and if not, let me look around other states. Mm-hmm. And doing my research, I happened to come across Heart to Heart Adoption. Mm-hmm. Reached out to them, to you guys, reached out right away, and told you guys my situation, what I was going through, what kind of environment I was living in, And you guys were right there and then said, we're willing to help. How can we help you? Mm-hmm. That was your guys' words to me. How can I help you?
I'm going to back up and say, why did you not do an abortion?
I don't believe in abortions. Mm-hmm. I feel that every child deserves a chance. Mm-hmm. Regardless of the circumstances, I do feel like it's up to the mother's decision. I feel like that every child deserves a chance, no matter what it is. I don't believe in abortions, and I will never believe in abortions. So I reached out to you guys, and this was about roughly, about June, July at that point. I would say it was about June, July of 2022. Okay. Yes, at that point. I was just about 7, maybe 8 weeks, which we just found out what the baby was, fairly new, give or take. Anyways, so your guys' words to me was, how can we help you? That was the words, and I was like, well, I am living in this environment. This is what I need help with. This is not a suitable situation for myself or my baby. I am married. I have a husband, So I basically went on telling you guys my story, my situation, stuff like that. So then you guys had me fill out some paperwork. You guys told me that you would send me out some paperwork, just to basically tell me a little bit about my pregnancy, stuff like that, how many kids I've had in the previous, how I've ever been through adoption, stuff like that. One of the biggest questions I did get asked, if I was to proceed with you guys, whether I wanted to stay in Florida or if I wanted to go ahead and move to Utah. Mm-hmm. My answer was I wanted to move to Utah. That was my choice.
Why did you? Because you were homeless in Florida.
I was homeless in Florida. I wanted to try something new. I was planning to move anyways. I just didn't know what I was going to move to. I've had 6 other states in mind, but Utah was not one of them. It was not.
Clearing the heck over somewhere else.
I didn't even know Utah even existed, really. But, when I got the option asking me was, hey, do you want to stay in your state or if you want to move to Utah? I was like, of course I would jump on it. I mean, yeah, like you just did me a favor here, So I did end up choosing the option to move to Utah because that was my choice. That was my decision because also I wanted a fresh start and I love the snow.
And how did you feel about it?
It is a fresh start.
Something new.
It's something new. She dealt with the heat for so long, it was my turn to deal with the coldness for her.
So you're from Florida originally?
I was actually born in Warrenville, New York. I'm a winter baby, but I lived on the East Coast most of my life in the South. But eventually I ended up in Florida when I was 22 years old. I stayed there until the year 2022 when we moved here.
Moved here. Okay. So you decided, okay, let's go here, and then
let's go ahead and actually no, we stayed in Florida for a bit longer till it was about 26 weeks, give or take. My ultrasounds weren't really measuring accurately either, so I was about 26 weeks, but the baby was measuring like 2 weeks behind, so made it look like 24 weeks, but in reality I wasn't 24 weeks, you know. Anyway, so 26 weeks rolled around. Wendy ended up buying our tickets. We were always going to take a Greyhound. That was a mistake that we made.
We hear that all the time.
That was a mistake. Don't do that.
Oh, my land.
Don't make that mistake that we made.
We got stuck in Atlanta.
And that was our own fault because, you know, we decided it was a good idea.
We thought it was a good idea, and
it would have been an adventure.
Yeah, it would have been. Well, that didn't go as planned, so we got stuck in Atlanta for like 24 hours, and unfortunately, it was the weekend, so, you know, there was really nobody that can help us out here, you know. Anyways, so finally, Monday came around, and I called to Wendy, and I was like, hey, we're stuck in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. This is what they told us. Wendy was like, let me just get you guys a plane. Where are you guys exactly at? So we're like, okay, we'll just get a flight. That will work.
Had you flown before?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I've flown.
It wasn't because you were afraid.
No, I was actually afraid a little bit because my pregnancy was such a high risk pregnancy, and I was afraid that my water would break. So that was a little bit concerning to me.
But it's worse on a bus.
It was. Anyway, so Wendy got us a flight from Atlanta, Georgia, Greyhound. Well, we were stuck in Greyhound, but the heart-to-heart Uber us from Greyhound station to the airport to get to our flight. And so we got on a plane, we flew in. Unfortunately, we arrived here very late. Fortunately, it was like 10 o'clock at night. You know, Wendy came and picked us up. And we did go stay in a hotel for like 2 days. At that time, the hotel called His Place. I don't know if it still exists or not, you know. I thought it was funny that I even brought that up because when Wendy told us we'd go stay in His Place, I made a comment to her and I said, what is it, like some kind of shelter? And she looked at me funny and she says, yeah, Alex, I'm really going to fly you to Utah and put you in a shelter. Come on now, you know. It makes no sense, you know. I didn't know. Because in Florida, there is this place called...
it's His Place Church, which...
It's His Place. It's where homeless
stay at during the winter.
Guys go into the winter, you know. So that just assumed like what it was.
Place like it's for men.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I assumed what it was, you know. Anyways, we did stay in a hotel for like 2 days or a day or so. It was something in that vicinity. And then you guys ended up placing us in our own apartment. Apartment was great. We didn't have any issues. You guys paid for all the bills, you know, like you said you would, took care of us, took us to the doctors like we should go to, you know. Unfortunately, at 28 weeks, roughly, I did go into a preterm labor, which was about 2 weeks after I arrived in Utah. And we wasn't sure what was going to happen with the baby yet. As in, like, if I was going to end up having him or not. So I was hospitalized for about a week and a half, you know.
Because you have had troubles with preterm labor.
Yes, I have. And
troubles with miscarriages.
Yes. And luckily, thankfully, the hospital was able to stop the labor. They were. And I managed to carry that baby to 37 weeks, 38 weeks.
See, that's great. That's great.
Came out healthy, little boy weighing 5 pounds, 9 ounces. Beautiful. I did get to bond with him because that's what I wanted as a mom. I was not forced. When I started working with you guys, initially when I came to Utah, we met here at the office. And we set up the whole birthing plan because, you know, you guys wanted to follow the birthing plan to the team, make sure that this is what we wanted. Everything that we've done when we came to Utah, we was not forced. We was not. It was our option. This was our choice because let me say something now. Not that we've done with the adoption in baby boy was born January 5th of 2023, by the way. You know.
You were. It was 2023.
Yeah, he was born in 2023, you know. But initially when we started working, it was 2022.
Yeah.
But he was born in 2023, and I will say right after the adoption, after we got everything finalized, 10 days later, we got into our own apartment because you guys helped us get there. You know, we came to Utah, we established jobs right away, we saved up every bit of money that we could, went on ahead.
You wanted to get your own place.
I wanted to get my own place, and I definitely did not want to go back to Florida. You know,
How did you feel about that?
I was fine with it, actually. Yeah. It's like, you know.
You like the weather here. January, though, it's cold.
It wasn't just the weather that sold me to Utah. It was the mountains. Once we moved into the apartment that you guys provided us when we first got here, as soon as I stepped out the front doors and I looked to my front, I saw nothing but mountains, to my right, mountains, to my left, mountains. It was just absolutely stunning, and I just fell in love with it.
It's funny that we're talking about mountains. I kept asking Wendy if they were actually real. It didn't seem like they were real.
We've had a lot of people mention that. They'll look at it and they'll go, Is that real?
Yeah, like literally.
It's fake. No, it's real.
It's real. One of our outings was actually to the mountains. When you guys took us on the outing, one of the places we went was to the mountains. And I will say that was amazing. I mean, of course, I climbed a mountain. Don't do that.
Did you go up with them?
No, he didn't go with us.
Have you been up there, though?
No, I have not.
Well, you need to get up there.
Eventually, I'll get up there. It's just right now, it's just taking time.
We're still exploring other areas, you know. And shortly after we got into our own apartment, it was a 1-bedroom apartment. About 10 months later, we ended up getting into a 2-bedroom apartment. So we upgraded from 1 to 2, and to this day, we still live in 2-bedroom apartment. Shortly after that, we became pregnant with another baby girl. And we do have her. We did keep her. One smart baby, knows just about anything and everything that you can think of, you know.
Well, wasn't it nice to be in your own place, and now you get pregnant again, and now you can parent?
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, heart to heart changed our lives for the best. I will have to say that. Being that where we came from to where we at today is because of you guys, because heart to heart helped us get there, you know. Again, we were never forced to do any of this. This is the choice that we've made because we knew that this would benefit us in the long run. And it did because, you know, look where we are today. We're doing great. We don't have issues, you know. We're not homeless with the baby girl, you know. None of that. We have a car, you know, we're able to get around. We've traveled the world with our daughter. We've been through 13 cruises.
Seriously?
Yes, ma'am. We've been on 13 cruises.
Wow, that's fun.
Our daughter Kaleesi has been on 9 cruises this year alone.
How are you guys going on all these cruises?
She saves us money. And on top of that, she also gets these great deals with the cruise line.
Cool. Yes. We also taken a baby to Disney World. We just did a Disney World trip. Not at Disneyland, but the actual Disney World.
In Florida.
In Florida, yes, ma'am.
So you guys are just traveling all over.
Yes, ma'am. We do. We travel a lot. We love traveling. That's one of our biggest things. We're always told ourselves that if we ever have another baby, we're going to make sure that she travels the world. And that's exactly what we did.
No, that's wonderful.
So
I still am pretty amazed that you're going on that many cruises.
13.
Well, like I said, she gets these great deals with the cruises. We still haven't 100% figured it out, but we're not complaining. It helps us travel, and we actually enjoy it.
And your apartment feels safe for you to leave.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you come
Yes,
back
ma'am.
and you back home.
Yes, ma'am.
No, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So if you were to look at the camera and you were to give advice to anybody, you've done a couple of things. You've had a child and placed for adoption. You've had a child and you've parented. I know you've had some miscarriages as well. What advice would you give people when they're faced with these decisions?
My advice would be, if you guys are faced with this decision and you don't know which route to go to, whether decide choosing between adoption and parenting, go with your heart. Go with your heart. If you feel that you don't think you can parent, go through the adoption. Do it. Raising a child is not an easy. It's not. There is a lot of patience to it. There is a lot of money requirements, and it gets hard. It gets tough. It really does. And that's coming from, somebody that's been through adoption and also that had a child that I decided to parent. There's so much more to than just parenting. There is a lot of doctor's visits. There is a lot, quite a bit, matter of fact. And my advice would be, if you don't think you can do it, take the chance and go through the adoption.
I have to say, follow your heart. Like my wife said, follow your heart on it. If you do go through the adoptions with heart to heart, I would add the benefits is it's an open adoption. You're able to communicate with the adopted family and get pictures of your young one that you gave up, and you're constantly in contact. So it's a benefit to do the adoptions if you feel that's the right option. If you wanted to parent, but do it when it feels right to you. Don't let other people dictate how you feel. Do it from your heart. And if you're able to do it, do it.
I want to add something to that. When my husband made a comment, said about the whole open adoption. When you meet with Heart to Heart, they actually do give you a adoption plan that you can choose on what kind of contact you want to have with the family. They give you the option. Do you want to open adoption? Do you want to close adoption? Do you want a minimal contact? Do you want pictures? Do you want visits? They give you all those options. You don't necessarily always have to go say, yeah, I want to open adoption. If you don't want to open adoption, they're not going to force you to it. They recommend it, but they're not going to force you to it. If you want to have closed adoption, okay, have a closed adoption. It's all what you want. They go based what you want, not based on what they want. It's your choice, not anybody else's.
Now, you've been on the Hearts Connect app, right?
Yes, ma'am, we have.
And how has that been for you?
The Hearts Connect app has been actually phenomenally amazing. We've had communication with our adoptive family that have our son, Baby O. His real name is Owen, but we go by Baby O. And eventually, after 6 months, we end up graduating out of Hearts Connect. And now we have a open communication with the adoptive family. We have seen little O. We've visited. We've seen him in person. The family flew here to Utah to bring our son. They've met Kaleesi. Yes, they have, which is our daughter that we decide to parent. We do text. We call. Hearts Connect is definitely a really great resource. It really is, because it actually helps you stay connected with the family if you choose to have an open adoption. Mm-hmm. It does help you with that. And then after 6 months, you graduate from it, It all depends on, obviously, the adoptive family to depend on what kind of communication they want to have also, But my advice would be definitely, if you're going to go through adoption, go for it. Again, Heart to Heart has changed our lives tremendously. They really have, because honestly, if it wasn't for Heart to Heart, we would not be where we are today. We would not be.
Making 13 cruises. That's crazy.
And at Disney World, you can't forget that.
With another one planned in the future.
Is it? So have you stayed in touch with your families?
Our Which families are?
Well, with your biological families, and then let's talk with the adoptive family, because you are staying in touch with them.
Yes, my biological family right now, I do not stay in touch with them because I am from Ukraine originally, and I have not had any successful luck, unfortunately, reaching out to my biological family. At this point, whatever happens. I came to conclusion that I can't change the world, unfortunately, I do talk to my adoptive parents. I don't talk to them every day. My adoptive mom, when she found out that I was putting my son up for adoption, she was not happy about it. And I stood my grounds and I told her it is not her choice. It is my choice. I am grown adult. I'm the mom here. This is what I want. You cannot stop me. She did try to force me and tell me that I needed to take my son back. She did try to tell me how horrible parent I was by making that decision. She did try to tell me that, I need to call the heart-to-heart and tell them that I was not thinking straight when I did that, when I signed that paperwork, what is the paperwork called?
Relinquishment.
Thank you. Relinquishment of my rights. I didn't want to do any of that at all because I knew I made the right choice. I knew I did because this is what I wanted. This is what I needed. To be able to get to where I'm at today, I knew exactly what I needed. And there was only one way to get there, is to do what I had to do. Was I sad when I put my son up for adoption? Absolutely. Any parent would be sad. Was I heartbroken? Absolutely. Any parent would be heartbroken because you carry a baby for 9 months. You get attached to the baby, Will I ever regret the decision? Absolutely not. Because our son is loved, cared for, has everything and anything that he could get. At that time, I couldn't give him any of that. At that time, I couldn't even give him milk because I didn't have the ability to give it to him because I was not in the greatest environment. I was not. I was homeless. I was running the streets. I had no way to cook anything. I was actually, matter of fact, losing 20 pounds every single month because I didn't have ability to provide the necessities that I needed to be able to support him and myself.
And were you sad?
I was definitely sad, honey. But the thing is I know it was the right decision when I relinquished my rights because, like my wife said, we were homeless. We were unable to provide for him. And it was the best thing. My family, I talked to my birth mom every once in a while. Was she too happy about the decision? No. But she respected enough. My adopted family, that's another story. Mm-hmm. But just to say, I am not regretting the decision of giving him up for adoption. I do not regret that decision. It's the best for him. And having communication with the adopted family has put myself at ease because I'm able to have pictures of him. I know he's growing up. And I do know that they did say that once he gets old enough to understand that he'll know that we're his birth parents. And if he wanted to reach out to us, they'll allow him. So that's the benefit of having heart-to-heart as your adoption agency. It's like you're able to find the right families for your child.
I want to point out something else.
Okay. No, please do.
I also want to make another comment about this. This is not my first adoption I've been through. This is, matter of fact, my second adoption I've been through. My first adoption was in 2015 when I had Jaden. I was still in high school. I think I was like 19, 20 years old, give or take. And that adoption, this was in Florida, by the way. That adoption was not experience that I want to go through again. Unfortunately, I don't have any contact with Jaden, even though it was supposed to be an open adoption. I have no contact with Jaden. I have no idea how Jaden is doing. Unfortunately, it's devastating. It's heartbreaking. So when I reached out to Heart out of Utah, I was scared to do this again. I was. And the main reason I was scared is because my first adoption didn't go as I wanted to go. But when I reached out to Heart, and they explained it to me and exactly how they do everything, it made my heart ease up. Like, it eased my heart up so much that I was like, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And they followed it through, because to this day, we get to talk to our son. Our son is getting ready to turn 3 in January. And we have an amazing, amazing contact with the family. That family loves us. We communicate with them. Again, we do text them, we call them, we see them in person. We've done a lot of visits. And, you know, just because one adoption didn't go the way I wanted to go, that does not mean my second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, whatever on is going to go the same. It is not. Some people feel that, you know, adoption is not for them. Adoption is not for everybody. Absolutely not. Neither is parenting. Parenting is extremely, extremely difficult. There's times that I was ready to give up. When I had Kaleesi, I was ready to call the heart-to-heart and say, hey, I can't do this. But I pushed myself through it because I wanted to compare the adoption and the parenting to see what the difference would be. And honestly, if I had a choice, I would still put Kaleesi up for adoption. I can't, though, because I am too attached to her now. I don't have the capability to do it, you know.
And you probably are very attached to her.
I'm very attached to
unfortunately, Kaleesi is a baby who is a mama's girl. She is a mama's girl. Everything is a mama. Something goes wrong, mama. Everything is mama, 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 you know. So
it feels like a lot.
It does. And that's what I'm saying. It gets hard. It really does. It gets very difficult, you know. But my experience between the parenting and adoption has been amazing. I also want to point out the fact that when I did go into labor with Kaleesi, Heart-to-Heart was there by my side, supporting me through it all. I do want to point that out. For a fact.
Even when you weren't planning on doing it?
Even though I had no plans to do the adoption, the Heart-to-Heart was still there by my bedside. They all got to meet the baby. They all got to hold the baby, of course, you know. I do have an amazing contact with Heart-to-Heart. I stay in touch with everybody. Unfortunately, you know, I get called special child. Not really, you know.
She thinks she's special.
You know, always gonna be special. Come on now. You know, there's only one Alex, you know. And, you know, the fact that we stayed in contact with Heart-to-Heart has been definitely a reward. Has been.
Having Heart-to-Heart in our lives has been absolutely phenomenal. When she gave birth to Kaleesi, they were there, and when I had to run home and grab the car seat and diaper bag and all that, they were there to help and support us. We have a great relationship with them. As like my wife says, we're in constant contact with Heart-to-Heart always, because they're part of our family now, and we absolutely love Heart-to-Heart.
I want to also point out the fact that we probably will be going through another adoption with Heart-to-Heart. We will be. I just don't know when it's going to happen yet, but that's a choice that we made because that's what we want to do, you know? And yeah.
We want to help another family have a child. So that's how we feel. It's like we bring our life in to help another family, and it's
been a reward.
It's been a reward for us, and we feel blessed doing that.
How's your little boy doing?
Owen is doing very, very, very well. He loves where he's at. The family absolutely treats him phenomenal. He met his little sister. He absolutely loves her. So,
at first he was confused.
Yes.
Who is this?
First,
what is that?
At first he was confused, but afterwards, when he was told that that's his little sister, by his adoptive family, it's not us, his adoptive parents. He went over and played with her, and he was a most wonderful sight to see.
It was a very beautiful thing to see.
I wonder if there's any way to get in contact with your first son.
We've tried. Unfortunately, we have tried. The adoption agency did go out of business shortly after my adoption happened. They did go out of business. I'm not 100% sure why they went out of business, but I probably would assume because I kept making so many reports on how they lied and, stuff like that. And I basically came to a conclusion, I'm just going to wait till he turns 18. That's what I might make.
So what I didn't realize until this conversation is both of you have been adopted.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that.
My adoption was not the greatest, and I'll tell you why. I come from severely horrible biological family's home. I've seen some trauma that I should have never been able to see. No child should ever see that trauma. I do suffer through real bad anxieties now. I do suffer through real bad panic attacks, but I am getting the help that I need, I was adopted January 29, 2007 out of Ukraine. That adoption ended up failing because my parents decided that it was a good idea to abuse their children. And I ended up in foster care. I was an orphan child. When I got adopted, I was already orphan child, basically, in Ukraine because I was living in an orphanage. And so when I came to the United States, again, shortly after, I was severely abused once again. And I ended up in foster care till I was 21. I was actually grandfathered in because I was such an older child. And because I've had so many issues that no parents wanted me, unfortunately. And when I hit 21, I aged out of foster care. I jumped through 26 group homes and 26 group homes and foster homes combined. I was abused in foster home. I was starved. All kind of things that was gone wrong, Foster care is not something that I recommend, unfortunately, based on the experience that I went through. Not everybody goes through what I went through. Not everybody. There's been foster homes that I've heard that were phenomenally amazing, It just depends on the foster parents. Depends on that. When I hit 21, I've had other children. My children end up in foster care. The reason why they end up in foster care was because I was a ward of a state myself. And because of that, DCF said that I was not mentally capable of raising my children. So my kids did end up in foster care. I got adopted for the second time as a disabled adult. And let me just say that was the best decision that ever has happened to me because when I got adopted, we were able to get my children out of foster care and placed with my sister. My children are with my sister right now who are loved, who are cared for, who has more than anything in the world that they need. Growing up in foster care was not a suitable environment. It was not. And that's not something that I ever want to go through again. Absolutely. Myself nor my child. Ever. So yes, I was adopted twice. I don't really talk about stuff like that because there's a lot of hurt to it. There's a lot of trauma to it, So I don't usually talk about it. I mean, if I get asked, of course I might tell my story. Of course I'm going to, But other than that, I don't talk about it.
I went into foster care when I was 8. I came from an abusive home. My sister and I ended up with the same family when we were one of the lucky ones. A couple years later, they decided they wanted to adopt my sister and I, and we agreed. But we moved to another state, so the adoption process took a very long time because of miscommunications between the states. Finally, I was adopted at the age of 15, which I'm happy. My adoptive parents aren't really talking to me now because of some of my decision making. But do I love them? Yes. Am I grateful for them? Absolutely, because they were there for my sister and I. They helped us through a rough patch. And they loved us in their way. To this day, I know they still love me. They're just not happy with me.
But they adopted you through the foster care program.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so at least it gave you some stability for a while.
Absolutely. How to say this? If they weren't judging me on my decisions and all that, I would be still talking to them. And they would have gotten to know my wife. They have gotten to know their granddaughter, Kaleesi. It's just, right now, it's just a rough patch with them. Mm-hmm. But eventually, I'm hoping they'll come around. I'm giving them time. I'm the type of person who's tired of trying to make all the first moves. It's time for them to turn around and say, hey, let's reach out, see how he's doing. Try to reconnect. I have an elder son who's 19, about to be 20, coming up next year from a previous marriage. So, he's with his mom. Do I communicate with him? Yes. Right now, he's not happy with me. Understandable. What teenager is happy with their parents? But he'll come around eventually, and we're waiting for that day. But the stability of my adoptive parents that gave me, the lessons that they gave me, they helped me quite a lot. They've made me into a better man. Because if it wasn't for them, I would not have joined the military. I would have actually been in jail or worse. Mm-hmm. So like I said, I'm very, very grateful for my adoptive parents.
How did you two meet?
We actually met on a city bus in Melbourne, Florida.
Okay, on a city bus.
Yeah, on a city bus. Out of all places, it had to be the city bus, He chased after me for about 5 years, and I just kept pushing him away, because I was pregnant with a baby. I didn't, I wasn't in the right state of mind, And then in 2019, we happened to run into each other again. And we exchanged the numbers, and here we are. We've known each other for 11 years. We've been together for 6 years, almost 7. And we've been married for 3.5 years, almost 4. We have a beautiful daughter who is almost 1.5. Who is smart, maybe a little too smart, but
for her own diaper.
She's literally 1.5 going on 21.5. Okay,
Well, and you're traveling,
and we do travel a lot. Yes, quite a bit.
So it's kind of like you've finally gotten to a place where you feel content.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for this visit. Do you have any final things you'd like to say to anyone who might be watching?
The only thing I have to say is keep your head up. Even when you feel like life is down, it's not.
It's temporary.
It's temporary. Keep your head up. Look for the positives in life and keep moving forward. As the saying goes from the movie Meet the Robertsons, the cartoon. Keep moving forward. It's the best advice I can give.
You take 10 steps back, 20 steps forward.
Just keep on moving forward.
Keep on moving forward. Keep pushing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for this visit.
You're very welcome, and thank you.
Thank you for being part of Choosing Adoption. I'm Donna Pope. You and your story matter. Visit choosingadoption.com to find resources, community, and encouragement for your unique journey. You are not alone. We're in this with you.